The Ramstein Group's first decision. The sums that will go toward supporting Ukraine and pan-European defense are impressive. Operation Demilitarization. Russian strategists shocked with another record. A recent enemy, which Moscow promised to destroy, arrived in Russia. A new reality. Kazakhstan is tightening its grip. The crisis is deepening. Another sector of the Russian economy is approaching collapse. Dictatorship is life-threatening. The shocking story of a missing Belarusian woman. And much more. The most important and breaking news, exclusive details. You are watching the next news release. Up-to-date information on events in Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, and the world. Earlier and more clearly than others. Everything you need to know today. Germany will provide Ukraine with new military aid worth more than €2 billion. This will primarily be aimed at strengthening Ukraine's air defense. This was announced by German Defense Minister Boris Pistorius during a meeting of the Ramstein Group in Brussels. We will continue to strengthen Ukraine's air defense. New contracts have been signed for the supply of 2 more ARST anti-aircraft missile systems, including a large number of guided missiles, as well as man-portable air defense systems. We will supply modern anti-tank weapons, communications equipment, and modern handheld weapons. Furthermore, Pistorius stated that Berlin will take the lead in developing a pan-European air defense account. In the coming years, Germany will invest €10 billion in drones of all types and capabilities, both offensive and defensive, in accordance with budget plans for the coming years. Demilitarization is proceeding according to plan. There is just one catch. We are talking about the demilitarization of the Russian army. But even here, the occupying forces' leadership managed to set a new record. According to military analyst Richard Vareker, the Russians lost more equipment in one day than in the entire month of September. In recent days, the invaders have indeed attempted to regain the initiative in the Pokrovsky direction, launching several waves of infantry attacks supported by a large number of armored vehicles and motorcycles. It appears this is the result of Vladimir Putin's get-together with the General Staff leadership on the dictator's birthday. True, the Ukrainian defenders successfully neutralized another breakthrough attempt, but overall, the situation remains tense. Deep Articles analysts are recording the advance of Russian troops in the Donetsk direction. The enemy has captured the villages of Kamar, Myrnaya, and Perestroika, as well as areas near Ivanovka and Voskresenka. Only one leader arrived in Moscow, the site of the Russian Arab summit attended by dozens of leaders. But which one? The new president of Syria, Ahmed Ashara, visited the Russian capital.
Dear Mr. President, there
were handshakes, not too broad smiles, and a bit of formality for the sake of protocol. We in Russia have never had any relations with Syria related to our political expediency or special interests. Throughout these decades, we have always been guided solely by the interests of the Syrian people. We respect all past agreements and this rich history and strive to rethink the nature of this relationship. But, as Raidas writes, citing an unnamed source in the Damascus government, the main goal of the visit is to discuss the extradition of Bashar al-Assad, whom the new authorities want to hold accountable for crimes against the Syrian people. Another crucial issue is the future of the Russian bases in Tartus and Khmeimim. As Shara was previously known as al-Jalani and led the Islamist group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham. Even earlier, it was known as Jabhat al-Nusra and was a branch of al-Qaeda. The group waged active military operations against the Assad regime and the Russian military that supported him. In 2016, the Russian Ministry of Foreign Affairs called the group and its leader fanatics and promised to destroy them. Last December, rebels led by Ashara took control of Damascus. This led to the fall of the regime that had controlled Syria since 1970. Bashar al-Assad was forced to flee the country. According to Decite, the former dictator's extended family occupies 24 luxury apartments in Moscow City. The former president himself rarely appears in public, spending hours playing games on his console, but it seems he's definitely not up to it right now. Customs refuses to give the go-ahead. Kilometer-long queues continue to grow at the Kazakhstan-Russia border. Customs has detained approximately 2,500 trucks traveling from China. The reason? Enhanced inspections for sanctioned goods. Particular attention is now being paid to electronics, drones, clothing, and Western-branded goods. According to lenta.ru, the inspections have affected all trucks, regardless of their final destination or vehicle registration. Logistics companies are being forced to raise tariffs and seek alternative routes. For example, some cargo is being rerouted through the Far East and Mongolia. It's
clear that this is not a temporary disruption, but rather a new reality, with tightened controls and increasing compliance with Western sanctions.
The tightening of inspections followed a series of talks between Kazakh President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev and U.S. President Donald Trump. Do you think it's a coincidence? While NATO defense ministers were discussing military aid to Ukraine in Brussels, Hungarian Foreign Minister Péter Szijjártó traveled to Moscow. There, he took part in Russian Energy Week. An ally of Viktor Orban, known for his harsh anti-European and Ukrainophobic rhetoric, he had plenty of warm words for Russia. We truly value cooperation with our Russian partners and colleagues in the energy sector. Why? Because of our experience. We've never been let down. Deliveries have always been made. When we needed more, we got more. When we needed less, we got less. Contracts have always been honored. And my only question is, why should we sever these relations? Szijjártó called the EU's plans to completely abandon Russian gas and oil madness. Budapest remains Moscow's largest buyer of raw materials in the European Union, shelling out €500 million monthly. But the Orban government is working very intensively on finding a replacement for Russian fuel. Contracts have been signed with the British and French, and recently, Budapest expressed interest in Turkmen gas. Meanwhile, the crisis in the Russian coal industry is gaining momentum. The number of companies at risk has grown from 30 in April to 53, reported Deputy Energy Minister Dmitry Islamov. Indeed, the industry is currently struggling, but at the same time, it's working very hard. And to what end? What are we seeing today? First, we're managing to maintain production. The causes of this colossal crisis are obvious. The loss of export markets due to sanctions, falling coal prices, payment problems, and the railways' unpreparedness to export raw materials to China. The industry has been suffering a severe blow since the 1990s. It employs 150,000 people, and that includes more than 33 single industry towns with a population of over 1 million. The lull after the bloody clashes on the Afghan-Pakistani border was short-lived. The Pakistani army shelled Kabul. According to local media, the strike also hit Taliban positions in the Spinbaldak district and key Taliban hideouts in Kandahar province. Taliban casualties are estimated at 200 killed. The escalation followed a morning battle on the border on Wednesday. Root reports that at least 12 civilians were killed in the clash. Another 100 people were wounded. The Taliban claims that Pakistani troops initiated the attack, and Afghan forces responded, killing numerous Pakistani soldiers and capturing their posts and equipment. Pakistani authorities blame the Taliban for the escalation. Tensions flared again on October 9, when a Taliban-linked group attacked a Pakistani military convoy in the Kuram district. In retaliation, Pakistan launched an airstrike on October 10 against the group's leader in Kabul. A day later, the Taliban attacked Pakistani border posts. The Belarusian embassy in Vietnam is actively searching for a Belarusian woman missing in Myanmar. According to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the woman flew to Yangon from Bangkok on September 20. The Russian Telegram channel MASH reports a shocking account. A Belarusian woman named Vera flew to Thailand looking for work, but instead of an interview, she was taken to Myanmar. There, she was forced to, quote, serve employers and participate in fraudulent schemes. Contact with the woman was lost on October 4. Media reports claim Vera was sold for her organs. Initially, they allegedly demanded 500,000 rubles for her body. Then, her relatives were told she had been cremated. The family is currently negotiating the return of the ashes to their homeland. Myanmar, formerly Burma, is a country ruled intermittently by a military junta. Like Lukashenko, the local dictatorship maintains close ties with China. A European leader in bomb shelters has emerged: Finland, which can shelter almost all of its citizens. According to Bild, the country has 50,500 bomb shelters, capable of simultaneously accommodating 4.8 million people out of a population of 5.5 million. By comparison, Germany, home to almost 85 million people, has enough shelters for only 480,000. However, Finland's success is the result of long-standing efforts and harsh historical experience. Shelters have been built since the First War with the Soviet Union, in the winter of 1939-4. Every building in the country over 1,200 square meters is required to have a protected basement. The largest bunker in Helsinki, 20 meters underground, is designed to accommodate 6,000 people. It could even survive a nuclear strike. The shelter also generates income. Inside, there's a fitness center, a hockey arena, a children's playground, and underground parking. In September, the headquarters of NATO's Regional Ground Command officially opened in the Finnish city of Mikkeli, 140 kilometers from the Russian border. Following this, Deputy Chairman of the Russian Security Council Dmitry Medvedev accused Finland, a country of 5 million, of preparing an attack on Russia. He threatened Helsinki that further aggression against Moscow would lead to the permanent collapse of Finnish statehood. Thank you very much for watching. Please watch to the end, and thank you for your trust. I look forward to your detailed comments, likes, and reposts. It's important that we grow. Have a wonderful and productive day. That's all for now. Until next time, and good news to you.